Right now at noon, take it slow on the roads. It is very slippery as the snow continues to fall. We'll have a first alert forecast update on what you can expect around trick-or-treating time. And we have live updates from the City of Madison street crews and state troopers about road conditions.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Thursday afternoon. Slick roads this afternoon as the Halloween snow continues to fall. Police responded to multiple slide-offs on Madison's west side this morning on Raymond Road west of Muirfield Road. This area took about 2 hours to clear. More than 10 cars were involved. Fortunately, there were no injuries. We have team coverage for you this noon. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is tracking how long the snow will continue today. Christina Laurie will have a live update from the City Streets Division and how the snow plows are doing. And Madeline O'Neill is live in DeForest with an update from the State Patrol. But first, Dave is out on the patio. Dave, how much more snow are we expected to get today?
We'll have much more in the way of snow, just maybe a few tenths of an inch added on to the about 3.5 inches that I measured just a couple of minutes ago here on the weather patio. We have flakes flying on the west side of Madison and closer to downtown. You can still see that snow on our Edgewater Skycam there overlooking Madison. And we are expecting this snow to continue for the next couple of hours or so. Our wind gusts are definitely a issue as well, with 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts, especially southeast of Madison. So that's something that we're going to have to keep in mind over the next couple of hours. And visibility as well. Where that snow is falling, it's really hard to see very far in front of you, with visibilities close to a mile south of Madison where that snow is still the heaviest. So if you are heading east this afternoon, make sure you take it very carefully, take it slow out there, and give yourself plenty of extra time. This snow is deceptively slippery. The good news is I do think that snow does wrap up over the next couple of hours. By trick-or-treating time, the story becomes the cold. It could feel like the teens for all those teens and kids out there as far as trick-or-treating goes. So we'll talk more about that and maybe our next round of snow on the way in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll check back with you, Dave. Thank you. The Beltline is moving along better now compared to this morning. Traffic was moving at a crawl around 8 a.m., causing some issues for people trying to get to work on time. All lanes of Highway 51 in the town of Dunn are back open after a crash involving a stolen car this morning. According to the Dane County Sheriff's Office, a 2011 Ford Edge was reported stolen from Stoughton. The 17-year-old driver lost control of the car, crossed over the center line into oncoming traffic, hitting a minivan head-on, then spinning out into two other vehicles. At least 5 people were transported to local hospitals with injuries ranging from minor to serious, but none are believed to be life-threatening. The teen driver was arrested for operating while intoxicated, causing injury, and could face additional charges. Dodge County deputies responded to a car that crashed into a school bus outside the town of Rubicon this morning. According to the administrator of the school there, the car rear-ended the bus. There were no injuries. It's not clear how many children were on the bus at the time. This end of October snowstorm has city and county plow drivers working overtime. They've been out there for 12 hours now clearing the roads for you. Our Christina Laurie spent the morning out on the roads, many of which are still a mess. She joins us live now from the plow barn on Badger Road. Christina.
Good morning, Mark, or good afternoon, rather. I don't know what time it is because we spent so long in a car this morning. We were out on the roads for about 4 hours. We're finally out now, but I feel like a bit of an expert. I know just how slick, slippery, snow-covered, whatever S word you want to use to describe them.
There's a few.
But they are a little clearer thanks to you, Brian Johnson, from the City Streets Division. So what has it been like for your crews working this early in the season?
Well, really, this is the time of year when our crews sort of ramp up for winter maintenance anyway, so this is sort of okay. I mean, it's still early. We would have preferred the snow coming later, but it's okay. We had our crews out, like starting at midnight last night, to kind of salt those main thoroughfares. Our plan is to keep salting them throughout the course of the day. Then right around midnight, we're going to be able to get into those neighborhood streets, try to get some sand down to help with traction for the Friday morning commute, because we're going to wait till late tonight just so we avoid any trick-or-treater conflict that could happen.
And speaking of trick-or-treaters, it is Halloween night. The roads out there are still going to be slick, even though you've done a lot of work. So words of wisdom for both drivers drivers and parents who might take their kids out?
Well, slow, patient, and safe is always the order of the day whenever it's snowy like this. Put the phones down, be focused where you are, because there are going to be slick spots out there. Even on some of the main thoroughfares, things could be slippery. And in residential streets, we got leaves, a little bit of melting, and the snow kind of adding to the slipperiness out there. So be alert, be patient, be slow, and you'll be okay.
Real quick prediction. First major snow of the year was today on Halloween. When is the last biggest snow going to be?
The last biggest
Come on, we
storm?
want you on record here.
April 3rd.
Okay, you heard it here. Hopefully by April, this will all be wrapped up. But for now, I'll send it back to you in the studio, Mark.
Christina, thank you, reporting from the Plow Barn. Let's go down to Madeline O'Neill. She is live off the interstate in DeForest with what the State Patrol has seen in our region so far today. Maddie.
Well, we usually hope for a white Christmas. Well, we have a white Halloween here today. The wind is blowing. It's getting kind of hard to see out of here. Now, things were moving pretty slowly on our drive here, but State Patrol tells us the interstate is doing pretty well, but that doesn't mean there aren't slippery spots. You'll want to keep an eye out for snow-covered roads and especially ramps and bridges. Those can be slippery. State Patrol says they've responded to more than a dozen crashes in our area. Sergeant Joe Lowe says it's likely plenty of drivers weren't ready for snow on Halloween like this, meaning no new tires for winter or emergency kits in cars, but this will get people's attention to get those things done pretty soon here. And it's important drivers don't get too confident on roads today.
Some will get very comfortable, and depending on what type of vehicle they're driving, like if it's an SUV or an all-wheel drive vehicle, they will feel that they have more confidence to operate that vehicle in maybe a faster manner. And it's not true. That vehicle can do the same thing as any other vehicle. It can go off the road, it can slide, and you can crash.
Lowe stresses how important it is today to have a fully charged cell phone on you, keep your lights on, and give other cars plenty of room. And if you do crash, it's important you don't get out and walk around your vehicle out on the highway. State Patrol says, well, they've had a fairly busy morning so far with the holiday and the snow continuing. They just expect to keep getting busier. Mark.
All right, Madeline, you're reporting live for us. Thank you. As the snow continues to fall today, we'll have up-to-the-minute road conditions and help you prepare to take the kids out for trick-or-treating. We'll have those updates all day on News 3 Now and on channel3000.com and our weather and traffic app as well. The House of Representatives have voted to proceed with the impeachment inquiry against President Trump. The resolution calls for open hearings and allows the president's legal team to question witnesses. But Democrats can strip that right if President Trump does not cooperate with the investigation. The White House says the process is already tainted because of the closed-door hearings underway. They call the vote a blatantly partisan attempt to destroy the president, adding the president has done nothing wrong and the Democrats know it. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Need a last-minute meal to serve your ghosts and goblins? We've got it, and it's frighteningly delicious. Happy Halloween to all you ghosts and goblins. I love this holiday, not only because of the candy, but also because I love seeing the neighborhood kids in costume. And with everything going on today, we decided we needed an easy to make and easy to grab dinner that you can really sink your teeth into. We start by browning some ground beef along with an onion. Once it's crumbled, we add a can of tomato sauce, a bunch of off-the-shelf spices, and a few hot dogs that we've sliced up. After this comes together, we stir in some shredded cheese and set it aside. Now we lay out a couple of cans of refrigerated crescent roll dough so it sort of looks like a sunburst. It's okay if the tips of the dough hang over the edge of the pan. After we spoon our chili mixture on top of that, we fold the tips of the dough over the filling and tuck them into the center before baking it off. You'll know it's done when the crust is golden and the extra cheese that we sprinkled on the top is all melty. I bet Dracula would love to sink his teeth into this. The recipe for our chili cheese dog ring is on our website and is easy enough to make for dinner tonight. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a scary good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Next to noon, it's beginning to look a lot like Halloween. Well, it will be if we get the snow off our decorations. There's producer Matt taking care of business on the backyard patio. You may need to clear off your own pumpkins. We'll have your forecast coming up. Looking at Wall Street at the noon hour, the Dow Industrials down 203 points. The NASDAQ off 31. The S&P 500 down 16. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee, who's in the snowy radio barn. I know, just you got to shake your head.
Oh, my God. Yeah, exactly. And part of my stand-up routine is now going to be, why do people in Wisconsin spend money on Halloween get-up when all we're going to be doing is covering it with winter coats and boots and, You can't even see the poor little sprockets. But yeah, this is obviously not what our Wisconsin farmers wanted at all, Mark. We still have a majority of our crops still standing in the field. But if you take a look at the numbers today in Chicago, the optimism still remains. That may be by some sheer miracle, all this snow is going to dissipate sometime in the month of November. The corn will stand. The soybeans, I'm still not sure about, but we still could get the corn off. So again, that optimism still kind of purveying in Chicago. We got export numbers out this morning from USDA that were disappointing. The corn is still way behind as far as the international marketplace is concerned. Soybeans did not meet the expectations of the traders today. So that's another soft spot. And Russia apparently is still holding on to their wheat. They're about 11% behind as far as overall marketing. Normally that kicks in at this time of the year. So wheat may be the one commodity we do want to watch. Like I said, pretty quiet on the midday. Our soybeans are back to basically unchanged. The wheat market a little softer, and the corn market is now negative as well. So it's going kind of different directions. Like I said, they're not paying attention to the weather that we're living with in Wisconsin. I guess we'll wait and see about all that low pressure that's coming in from the west and see what that does to them. But like I said, on the midday, we're trading lower. As far as the dairy markets are concerned in Chicago, barrel cheese today did gain 1.5 pennies, still feeling that holiday influence. Traders trying to cover what they're going to need from now through Super Bowl Sunday. Barrels at $2.28 3/4. The 40-pound block cheese up 1/4 at $2.17 1/2. While double A butter on a Thursday up 1/4 cent at $2.08 1/4. And honestly, Betty, I just don't know what to say. Of all years, this is like a repeat from 2018, except 2018 our farmers were up against mud and rain. This year, it's firm rain.
It's just hard rain, solid rain.
Exactly.
All right, well, be careful out there.
Yeah, no kidding. It's slippery.
It is. All right. Thank you, Pam. Let's head over to Dave with some preliminary snow totals.
Yeah, a couple of people have asked me, Mark, why I didn't come to work dressed up, and I am in costume as a meteorologist who's already over the snow, as we're about a couple of days into the season, not even into November yet. So this latest round, we've gotten some reports. These are as of noon, around 6 inches reported in Dodgeville, close to 4.5 in Middleton, Mazomanie, and Muscadet. At News 3 Now, I just measured on the patio a couple of minutes ago, 3.5 inches, and Janesville also coming in at 3.5 inches. Now, as far as at the airport, we actually had a little bit of history with the snow this morning. That total will be updated of the 1.4 over the next couple of minutes, and we'll get that information out as soon as possible. But right now, we are the snowiest October on record in Madison, and 4 straight days of at least an inch of snow at the airport as well. That has never happened before in October or in November. The last time that happened was in 2007, but that was in February. So to get that type of snow streak at this time of the year is completely unprecedented in Madison. Here is our time lapse on the Edgewater Skycam. You can see that snow coming down pretty heavy at times, and that visibility has been an issue throughout the day, and it will be a bit of an issue for the early afternoon hours in spots like Madison. The snow really wrapping up across portions of southwestern Wisconsin, including in Platteville, but we still are seeing a few light flurries, and I think that trend will continue over the next hour. Here is Doppler track. We can see to the west, really not too much in the way of activity, but still plenty of flakes flying across portions of Dane and Rock counties closer to Milwaukee. So if you are planning on heading east this afternoon, really take it slow, because not only are we seeing that snow, we're also seeing those gusty winds blowing that snow around, and it's plenty cold outside. As far as snow chances go, I think over the next couple of hours we'll see the light snow in Madison. But by the time we get to about 6 p.m. tonight, I think we will be snow-free, and we'll stay that way into much of the morning on Friday. There is a slight chance of maybe a few patches of drizzle or some flurries tomorrow afternoon. That's really not going to affect too many of us, and then we dry out into this weekend as we get to Saturday. So visibility is improving in spots to the north and west, but where that snow is still going, visibility down less than a mile in Janesville, so be careful on those roadways. This is deceptively slippery snow where it may not look like much, but there's a high water content, so it's really hard for your cars to get traction. Also, I mentioned the wind chills. It feels like 18 degrees in Madison. That's not fun to trick-or-treat in. And speaking of trick-or-treating, still going to be breezy this evening, so temperatures will be falling through the 30s into the 20s, but it will feel like the teens across much of southern Wisconsin for peak trick-or-treating hours. On Future Track, we noticed that the snow showers move out later this afternoon, but we still have that strong northwesterly wind at times for this afternoon into the early evening. That wind gets a little bit better overnight. Note the time here, folks. This is tomorrow morning. We have clear skies, temperatures in the 20s. Actually, this is tomorrow morning, I should say. I got all my days mixed up with this crazy weather. So starting off in the 20s tomorrow, we could see a few flurries or patches of drizzle, really not going to impact your day all that much. Into Saturday will be a little bit warmer with mostly cloudy skies. Remember, we fall back this weekend, so a little bit quieter weather, thankfully, comes our way for Saturday and Sunday before we get more systems on the way for Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures in the low 40s and upper 30s. Quiet on Wednesday before another round of flurries and snow showers possible by next Thursday and Friday.
Well, at least it'll be November.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
November.
so normal at that point.
This is not normal.
No, this is unprecedented. The snowiest October on record. Wow. Now 4 straight days of an inch of snow. Only the second white Halloween on record in Madison, and the 3rd time we've had measurable snow on Halloween.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Boo.
Shovel, yeah. It is scary.
It is scary. Next to noon, Marissa DeGrooch is here with our pet of the week from the Dane County Humane Society. His name is Dak. He's getting into the Halloween spirit. Stay with us. Marissa DeGrooch from the Dane County Humane Society is here with our pet of the week. Teeth all around here. Hi, Marissa.
His are a little easier to manage than mine.
This is Dak.
This is Dak.
And he's dressed up like a vampire for a good reason.
Yep, we're matching vampires today.
So tell us about this guy. Oh, your mic's not on.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, so you're matching vampires today. Tell us about Dak.
So Dak here, is a 1-year-old terrier mix, and that means that he is full grown. So he's going to stay kind of a petite guy.
So there's nothing wrong with his teeth. It's just he's got an underbite.
Nope, he's got the underbite, and it doesn't slow him up from snarfing down some treats, which will be real fun today if he gets to go a little trick-or-treating around the shelter.
He is so friendly.
He really is. He loves people, and he's kind of a chill guy, but when he gets a little riled up, he does love to run around and play.
To other dogs?
Yeah, I think he would fit in well with a lot of different families as long as you're kind of dedicated to helping him learn a lot of great new tricks. Because at 1 year old, he's very smart, but he has a little bit more to learn.
A lot of energy. He is so cute.
I know. We have seen some underbites in our days, but I'll tell you, I've never seen one quite like this.
Yeah, perfect for Halloween. And speaking of Halloween, if last-minute costume ideas?
Yep, if you need some last-minute costume ideas or maybe a winter coat, you can head over to Dane County Humane Society's thrift store. We're over on Grand Canyon, and we're going to be open today, so you can get those last-minute costumes for maybe the kids, maybe the pups.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last week?
Last week we had beautiful Bella, and she did get adopted. She was our girl with some special medical needs, and we found her a great new family.
That is spectacular. She was such a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Dak home here, bud. Huh? What do you say? Happy Halloween. All right, Marissa, thank you. For more info on Dak and all the critters available, go to the website, giveshelter.org, 838-0413, the number to call. And Dave has one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, Mark, we have still some snow showers out there. They'll be around for the next couple of hours in Madison and across Dane and Rock counties. Doppler track is showing this slowly moving system moving to the east, so really not too much more in the way of snow accumulations for much of the area. Unless you are closer to Milwaukee, then those numbers will definitely go up. So that snow comes to an end by about 3 or 4, I think, this afternoon, but still cold for trick-or-treating tonight, with temperatures dipping into the 20s and it feeling like the teens through much of the peak trick-or-treating hours tonight. As we head into tomorrow, we will be a little bit nicer as we get into the weekend as well.
Spooky. Matt is still out there.
Wow.
Oh, good grief. Be careful out there. We'll see you back here at 4.